The song that always comes to mind when I hear that reading at Christmas time is the Beatles song Let It Be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, weeping words of wisdom, let it be. I'm not going to the let it be's. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. It comes to mind because, well, in my old version of the Bible, that's what part of what Mary said. And so I looked up a bit about the Let It Be song, and I realised it came from a time when Paul, who wrote the song, was really quite depressed. Brian, whatever his name is, their manager, had died, and the group was a little bit sick of being the Beatles. They were all getting ready to break up. And Paul didn't want that to happen. And he was in some level of turmoil about it. And what comes to mind when he's in turmoil? Well, he says what came to mind was a vision that he had of his mother, whose name was Mary. And she came to him in a dream and said, "It'll all be all right, don't worry about it." And so he says that's where the song came from. At least that's one story. One of his roadies, whose name was Malcolm, tells a different story. He says that Paul had a vision of him, Malcolm, in a dream, saying that, and reciting the words to him, let it be, let it be, let it be. And so Paul wrote the song, Let It Be. When Paul's asked about whether or not he understands that people might understand this as something of a song about Mary, the mother of Jesus, and her words, he says, "Oh, I don't mind that interpretation, that's fine." But Paul's mother, who died 10 years before this vision, was a devout Catholic lady. And Paul himself sang at church, with his mother there. So I'd like to believe, and I can't help but believing, that something from his childhood faith bubbles up at a time of despair and hopelessness. And he begins to write a song which reflects the words of Mary, the mother of Jesus, when she said, "Let it be." But she didn't just say, "Let it be." He got it a little bit wrong, because what he means by "let it be" is it's not going to be a worry. There's some of that, I suppose, in it. But what Mary really said was, "Let it be done to me according to your word." The very beginning of the gospel, we have Mary, a woman, the mother of Jesus, giving the example of what faith is all about, what hope is all about. The song that Paul wrote was a song of hope. There will be an answer, and a light will shine. And that's part of the rest of the song. He's bringing a statement of hope in his despair. What Mary saw was excitement and hope, because she had been promised that she would be the mother of the Messiah, which was every girl's hope in ancient Israel. And so she says to us the words of faith that we need to hear. Let it be done to me according to your word. Let me reflect the will of God as God touches my life. Let that communication with God, which is central to our faith, be maintained and lived out in my life.